Hi there, this is Vincent Yu from MD Consulting. So in this video, I will be talking about using the onion routing network, the TOR network, also known as the dark web, to hide our C2 infrastructure and essentially allow us to prevent ourselves from being found, like where the infrastructure actually is. Like, we don't want anyone to be able to trace back to it. So given if TOR and the developed C2 infrastructure is actually secure, there should be no way to decloak the location of the attacker infrastructure. So in this tutorial, I've also managed to basically take the role of a employee, and in the scenario of an employee who only has access to the ClearNet, so the normal internet as we call it, through a Sophos web appliance security gateway proxy type thing, and this appliance has website categorization. So we'll have a look, and I've put it on the most restrictive settings. This is now testing A0AWSstatic.com, and it's got a policy result of block. So what's interesting is we can see that it actually doesn't block government websites. And another interesting thing is it doesn't block onion.cab. So what's onion.cab, you might ask? So Josh Pitt wrote a blog post in November last year about how to get TOR to web working in order to host Empire as a hidden service. In this tutorial, we'll be doing Cobalt Strike and how I managed to debug some of the issues whilst making it work. Furthermore, instead of actually displaying the full onion URL, I'm going to mask it behind onion.cab using HTTPS without actually having HTTPS on the hidden service side of things. So onion.cab is not actually blocked in this proxy, and we'll leave it that way. So this will be quite a long video, as I'll be showing you how to develop and debug some of the issues. This is just hoping to inspire more people to do research in this area as well. I'm going to begin with just going to my infrastructure. So there's the original webhook profile, get only profile, that we previously used on my first video on domain fronting. If you haven't seen that, you can go back to it now and have a look if you want. Alright, so I'm just going to close off my Cobalt Strike infrastructure. And here, let's make a clone of the webhook get only profile that we modified in the previous video, and I'm going to call it TOR default.profile. Right, I've got a typo. Okay, now if we nano the TOR default. Right. So, as part per the previous video, we used CloudFront and we hid it behind CloudFront. So in this video, I've just thought of doing it this way. So right now, my server is running let's just make it's running a TOR hidden service, and it's hosting stuff on port 80. So I'm gonna just go here and do a python-m simple HTTP server. Alright, okay, I've just come back, had to sort out something. Okay, so so I've got this onion URL, okay, and I'm hosting it on port 80. So theoretically, if I open my Tor browser here, I should be able to just visit the onion URL. And as we can see, here we have the directory listing as expected, and there's nothing in it. Great. So now let's test from the internet. So the onion.cab is one of many TOR proxies, and here we're connecting to this proxy that will connect us into the TOR network without us having to actually install a VPN. It acts basically as a sort of proxy that connects us into the network, and you have to click I know what I'm doing, and basically it sets your browser with a cookie that says that you know what you're doing, and then from there on it stops prompting you and it just relays the traffic. So let's begin by clicking on here and just seeing whether it actually does what we expect. Come on. Okay, there's our directory listing. So from the ClearNet, we've actually managed to connect into the Onion network. Okay, so from here, let's begin by analyzing some of this traffic in Burp. So Burp Suite is a... Okay, I'm back. I just had to get Burp going. Okay, so we're gonna start the proxy and hook it up here. Okay, so we've hooked up the proxy now, and we're gonna connect to this onion, this file, this address. We're gonna ignore that traffic and just look at this. So if we only look at what's in scope, so we've got this URL. We can see that there's a cookie for I know shit at its end, but for some reason it's still showing it here. So obviously this previous cookie is expired. So I'm going to click on I know what I'm doing. It'll send another request, but with an updated I know shit cookie. Great. Okay, so we've got this cookie, and we're going to just put it into repeater, and we'll see whether we can do anything with it. Okay, so I'm expecting less data here, and I can see for a fact this is being appended by the proxy that we're using, the onion.cab. So I'm just gonna create a Malleable profile that doesn't care about the body of the request, because this might corrupt some of the data. There's definitely ways where like you can append other erroneous data to probably just chop it off the end, and it wouldn't matter, and we just care about this section. But I'm gonna, for the purpose of demonstration in this video, I'll do it through just get requests. So in the get requests, we need to be sure that we have the header to the onion, and let's begin by deleting some of these that we don't necessarily need, just to check that it's not doing any authentication through that. Okay. So cool. But now what happens if I delete the cookies altogether? Can I still use this proxy to get my data? No. So let's move back a step and begin deleting other cookies. So I know for a fact, because I've already done this, if I just delete those cookies, it'll still work with just this one cookie, because this is what's verifying things. Okay, cool. So I've got the cookie and I've got the URL. Okay. Now, how does this work? Watch this. So the main fronting again, let's try. Perfect. I'm making the HTTPS request to onion.cab with my host here, and it'll work. So back to Cobalt Strike. No, back to the Malleable profile. Let's change the host header. So copy this host header here. Cool. And we do the same with this host header here. Cool, save that for now. And I also need to make sure I've got the cookie in my request for it to work. So let's add a header here. Great. Save that. Let's do the same up here. Cool. So at this point we're good. We can start using the TOR profile. So I'm just going to move back out of directory. I'm going to use this profile again. So let's go TOR default, the one that we just created. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is connect to my Alright, so here we've connected back into our infrastructure, and we can see that I've got a listener on for the previous video that I made. So the host doesn't really matter at this point because I'm not using it for staging. What we want here is onion.cab, so it knows where to connect out to. And because I know that the onion, I host my hidden service on port 80, but when I make a request to the onion.cab proxy, it's got to be over port 443 on HTTPS. So I'm just going to set this to HTTPS for now on 443. Same settings. And I'm going to just make a quick package here and save it. Stage this beacon, and okay, now that that's done, I'm going to switch it back to HTTP on port 80 and the index once again, and we'll begin by putting beacon through here. Replace. Okay, good. Alright, let's check my proxy settings. So the proxy settings will be set to Squid Proxy, not Squid Proxy, the Sophos Web Security Gateway. That for some reason allows onion.cab URLs. Alright, let's begin by clicking on beacon. And beacon has stopped working. Okay, so let's debug this. Not that. So if we go to onion.cab URL, we can see requests go through for onion.cab, okay. Right, so there seems to be an issue. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. So I've just decided to be a good boy and listen to Raphael. So just run c2lint on a profile, and we can see that there's actually some errors here. So it says that the compiled size has to be less than X bytes. I guess basically I just went overboard when I was sticking in the cookie. So TOR default.profile. So because I went overboard, I'm going to delete some of these useless parameters. Okay, now let's go back here and restart. Okay, so now we've just connected to the server again. Right. So back to the listeners again, just to check. So I've got this on port 80 again, so I'm going to put this on 443. We're gonna just, we don't want we want a stageless one. So we do WinExe, stageless, set a beacon, click OK. Now I'm going to pull this into my VM. If there's none running already, okay, that works. So now I've got to switch this back to port 80 again because hidden. So yeah, so the proxy talks to the hidden service over port 80 on the TOR network. So it has to be running on port 80 here. So this is running on 443 out to the proxy and then 80 into me. So this is running now. Oh, it's actually doing some connections up. Oh, and I've got a connection via the TOR network. Okay, so let's just do a shell sleep 0 and a shell. We can do let's just do a PS. Alright, we'll wait the full minute. So it looks pretty happy. It's doing like requests, but there's like this push act where I've already resolved this issue previously on my test, so I'll let you know what it is afterwards. If there is an issue. So we have managed to receive the beacon. So it's been a minute. Right, I'm going to pause the video for now and I'll come back. I just want to show that I'm going to give it a bit more time to beacon back to me. And I'm not just, it's not just because of lag on the TOR network. So it's been about 3 minutes and we still haven't seen any traffic. Okay, so obviously we've managed to get something working, but we haven't got the two-way C2. So let's try beacon again, just to, like, the beacon's still running. So that's not our issue here. So let's just kill the process. And we're going to run it again. And I get another beacon. And I can tell you at this point that the same thing is going to happen again. Like, it's just going to time out. And we haven't got two-way C2. And there's a reason for this. So what we're going to do is begin. So here we can't inspect the traffic because it's over HTTPS, like it's encrypted. So what we're going to do is go here and try and do something and to understand what's happening to the server. So I'm just going to take this example request again from the C2 lint. So let's paste it here. So this sort of like does what we're expecting the beacon to be doing. So we're going to send this request once, and we get a GIF. Okay, it's all fine and everything. It looks like pretty legit. It's probably what we're expecting. Press go again, and again, and again. Now we go back. So I've noticed a difference here now. From cache, it seems that this is being cached for some reason. So what I can think of is it because the content type is a GIF, perhaps, or maybe it's the extension that's being tested. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kill off the extension, so when it comes to the server, it doesn't start checking extensions and trying to cache it. Or it doesn't take the content type and then cache it if it's a GIF, okay? So what's going to happen is I'm going to go back here and modify the TOR default profile again. We're going to look for the content type. I'm just going to use plain /text because I know it works. I don't care if it gives it an image back or what, like they can look at it all they want. I'm going to just put UTM here. I'm not even going to put text because I just want like those 4 bytes more of data every time it tries to beacon back. Okay, right, so we've set the plain, like it's plain text, and we've removed the extension, just hopefully it doesn't start caching again. So the stager, just in case, alright. Even though this is never going to be used, but right, okay, cool. Let's check the profile. Everything says it's good to go. Right, I'm going to pause the video again whilst I just kill the team server and reset. Right, so I've just connected to the team server again. So this time we've still got the beacon running. the previous beacon's outdated now because the profile has changed. So let's change it to 443 HTTPS. Right. Let's begin by creating the beacon again. Generate. Alright, so we're going to save the beacon. Fantastic. Stick this back to what I want. Port 80 for the hidden service. Beacon, let's pull it into the lab. Even replace, can't do it because it's in use. Kill. Continue. Fantastic. So now, got no beacons, okay. Let's go. Traffic. Let's just check the DNS again. Right, so I've got all my Sophos because Sophos updates and whatnot. Alright, onion.cap. There's no sign here whatsoever of my full URL for my onion. And I've got a beacon back now. Okay, let's try the exact same thing whilst it's waiting because I don't have time to wait that long for it. So let's just do a sleep and we're going to do a shell PS whilst it's doing it. Oh wow, okay, so alright, shell PS isn't going to work because I'm not in PowerShell. Let's do task list. So it actually is calling home this time around. Is it going to give me a task list after like 1 minute? We'll see. Anyways, whilst that's happening, let's take this request. I'm going to stick it in Burp Suite this time. Okay. Press it again. Okay, it doesn't cache it this time around. Fantastic. Okay, so... Oh, right, okay, it's caching it because of the... Yeah, I pressed forward and it's a other request. Okay, cool. Now let's just wait for this to finish. It's always good to view your web logs to see if anyone's trying to uncover your C2. Okay, 1 second. Right, it's been about a minute now. Let's go back here and have a look. Okay, so it's crashed again. Right, okay, there we go. It didn't crash, it just scared me a little bit. Okay, there we go. We've got our two-way C2. Fantastic. Let's do a system info this time. I gotta say, the C2 is pretty fast, given that it's going over the TOR network. Yeah. Well, it looks like data's still being transferred, so... Okay, there we go, fantastic, yep. I'm not patched, and yeah, fantastic, I'm running VMware. Right, so that's it for this video. I hope everyone has learned something, and now we can set up our C2 behind TOR infrastructure as hidden services, and also we only see the onion.cap